The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon and welcome, everyone. My name is Aubrey McLaughlin. I'm the Director of Alumni Professional Networks for the University of Maryland's Alumni Association. We are excited that you're able to join us for today's webinar, Growing Your Sales in the Amazon Marketplace, Week 2. This is presented by Phil Masiello, graduate from the MBA class of 1992. This webinar is part of the Alumni Association's Professional Development webinar series, in which we hope to provide thought-provoking and valuable content that will help alumni like you achieve your personal and professional goals. We have a lot of information to cover today, and we will take questions at the end. Feel free to submit any questions using the question box located in the GoToWebinar control panel. For those of you who joined last week, this introduction will sound very familiar, but Phil is an author, entrepreneur, marketing expert, and the founder of Hound Dog Digital Marketing Agency, one of the fastest growing marketing agencies in the nation. The firm specializes in assisting consumer product companies with their e-commerce efforts, mobile application marketing, and Amazon Marketplace seller marketing. Phil is also the founder and CEO of several disruptive business models. Prior to Hound Dog Digital Marketing, he was a founder and CEO of 800razors.com, Raw Beauty Inc., Metro Marketing, and The Daily Market. Phil holds an MBA in Finance and Marketing and has remained active in the university's entrepreneurial programs and is also an active advisor and mentor to several incubators in the Baltimore-Washington marketplace. And now we'll get started. Phil, take it away.
Hi, thank you, Aubrey, for that. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. This webinar, The Basics of Successfully Selling on Amazon Part 2, is an extension of last week. We're going to quickly review a few things from last week's seminar and then dive right into some great growth strategies. I'm going to move quickly through the recap so we don't waste a lot of valuable time, because I want you to walk away with some very actionable steps today to improve your Amazon business or your business in general. Hopefully you take something away that you're going to go back and be able to monetize with. Real quick, the Amazon Marketplace is very important. It's important for sellers. Anybody who has a physical product should be selling on Amazon, and the reason is that's where the customer's buying today. Over 50% of Amazon.com sales come from third-party sellers. Amazon.com accounts for 44% of all U.S. e-commerce sales and 4% of all retail sales in the U.S. Over 6.5 million site visits a day occur on Amazon. 49% of all U.S. households have a Prime membership. 60% of all product searches begin on Amazon. And so, as we spoke last week, our focus is not on just being a great Amazon seller. Our focus is on using Amazon to build our brand and acquire new customers for less money than we can on any other platform. The reason it's important is because you may find that your customer acquisition cost is lower and your conversions are easier on Amazon. Brands like Anchor Portable Chargers, Tuft & Needle, and a bunch of other companies began on Amazon and built their businesses. And many of these businesses are $500 to $1 billion today. And again, they started on Amazon. So it is possible to build your brand on Amazon and use Amazon to build your e-commerce, your retail, whatever growth strategy you have. Because in today's e-commerce world, everything works together. Your site, your social media, your Amazon store. We studied the behavior of shoppers interacting with over 100 multi-channel brands. And what we discovered is that when a customer is exposed to a new brand or product that they're considering making a purchase, they first go to the brand's website. And if that looks good and legitimate, again, they want your site to look legitimate. They don't want to be worrying about scams. They check reviews on Google and Facebook. And if that looks good, then they go to Amazon to see if it's sold there. If it is, they check Amazon's reviews, and then they make their purchase decision. And their first purchase may be on Amazon. This is about 90% of the consumer product journey today, and it's dramatically changed in the last 5 years. It's primarily because of Prime. Amazon's Prime is not just about free 2-day shipping. Amazon's Prime is it's a retention tool that Amazon created. And it's nearly unbreakable. It's a nearly unbreakable bond with Amazon and the consumer. Like, yes, it gives free 2-day shipping, but it also gives 24 other benefits to it. But Amazon has also built up trust with the consumer. And they know that if your product's sold on Amazon and they buy that product and something goes wrong, Amazon's going to take care of them. Amazon's going to give them a refund. They've got the A to Z guarantee. Customers are hesitant today, especially, to give over their credit card details to an unknown. They're worried about identity theft. They're worried about financial problems. So again, these things lead to your first purchase may be easier on Amazon. Amazon wants sellers to succeed. We talked about this last week. You're not going to hear that in a lot of places because there's all this rhetoric out there about Amazon trying to take over your world and all that. But the reality is, Amazon does want sellers to succeed. And how do we know? We know because Bezos told us. This is his famous Bezos napkin sketch when he first envisioned the marketplace. And he sees sellers as providing the selection Amazon wants and needs to provide great customer experience, to keep customers coming back, to increase traffic, which leads to growth, which leads to a low-cost infrastructure, which lowers prices, which provides a better customer experience, and on and on. What Amazon does not want are bad sellers. They want to weed out bad sellers and foster good sellers. So don't be a bad seller. Be a great seller. Build a relationship with the customer. What it takes to succeed, 3 primary areas. Customer experience is everything. Amazon is an extremely customer-focused company. Bad sellers get penalized. If a seller has a lower than 4 rating, their products get pushed down in the rankings, they pay more for ads, and they have a very difficult time winning the buy box, even if they had the cheapest price. So all those ratings that sellers get matter. And not only do they matter to the consumer, they matter in the algorithm. So, and if you have a product rating below 3.6, that product is shut out from a lot of lightning deals, daily deals, and other important ad opportunities. So all these ratings really matter, and they're customer experience related ratings. The second thing is success is measured by relevance and performance. So we're going to get into the specifics of relevance and performance a little bit later on, but these key metrics are used to rank and show your product. And then the third one, which is one of the most important, is success creates more success. So from the perspective of Amazon, lower costs equal lower prices, which equals higher growth, which equals lower costs. From the seller's perspective, more sales give you better rankings, gives you better placements, which gives you more sales. So it's a continuum. And this is what your Amazon flywheel will look like. Again, everything revolves around a great customer experience. You have discovery initiatives, top left, what we refer to as Amazon SEO, your title, your bullet points, your keywords. And then you have traffic drivers. These are primarily paid ads. Your conversion drivers, which again are also part of SEO, which is on-page content, your photos, videos, Q&As, and then your reviews. And all of these work together continually to drive your flywheel. They all work together to make everything a little bit more efficient. And I can tell you that when you have optimized pages, great page titles, bullet points, content, you'll spend less money on your ads than any competitor who's not optimized. And this is what we're focusing on today. I want you to notice that in your flywheel, 3 of these areas are not paid. Only one has to do with advertising. The rest are work. What kind of seller do you want to be? There's 3 ways to sell on Amazon, to be a seller. Fulfilled by Amazon, you ship your product to Amazon, Amazon ships to the customer, Amazon handles all the aspects of shipping and customer service. You get Prime immediately with FBA. When you're fulfilled by merchant, you set your products up on the Amazon marketplace, you handle all customer service and shipping, and you need to apply to have your products sold as Prime. When you get Prime, then you're fulfilled by merchant with Prime. Again, you set your products up on Amazon, you handle all customer service and shipping. You get Prime, but you're under more scrutiny to keep Prime. So it's a very difficult thing. And then the last part is really about protecting your brand on Amazon and everywhere online. You want to make sure you have your trademark secured. You want to make sure your brand mark is protected. And you want to control who you allow to sell your brand and where you want them to sell it. If you find unauthorized sellers of your product on any marketplace, but primarily Amazon, shut them down quickly. Join the brand registry. That gives you the power over unethical sellers or counterfeit sellers or people that you have not authorized to sell your product. And be very aggressive about protecting your brand, and ensure that your brand message is consistent across all platforms that you sell on. This is important to the customer, because when the customer searches for your product or goes and finds your product, you want the same messaging that's on your site to be the same messaging on Amazon and Walmart.com or any other affiliate site that you may put your product on. You want consistency across all platforms. That tells the customer that you're for real. That tells the customer that you're building a brand and you're somebody that can be trusted. And you want to always set a minimum advertised price with your resellers. If you have people that you are authorizing to sell, make sure that you set a minimum advertised price so that you're not competing against yourself with your own product and driving the price point down. And brand registry is very important. It gives you the ability to have power over unauthorized sellers. When you're enrolled in the brand registry, you get a lot of resources that are not open to resellers. You get to build enhanced brand content pages, which we'll talk about in a little bit. You're allowed to put more images, more text, more video. You can build a storefront, which is different than an Amazon store. A storefront is almost a mini website built on the Amazon platform. It's got multiple pages, and you can show much more in depth about your brand. And you get access to customer insights section of Amazon, which helps you to learn about the shoppers interacting with your brand. Okay, so that's a recap of what we talked about last week. What we're going to cover today is Amazon SEO and what we'll call organic search on Amazon. They don't really have a term for it, but that's the sort of what we all call it. Then we're going to talk about Amazon paid ads and how to use them. We'll talk about some affiliate sites to put your product on, how to use social media to help, and getting legitimate reviews. So let's just jump right in. So this concept is really the fundamentals of Amazon. When you create compelling and optimized listings, you'll get more conversions and sales. When your sales increase, that product will rank higher. When that product ranks higher, it gets better organic search placement. With better organic search placement, a product sells more. When a product sells more, it ranks higher. When it ranks higher, it shows up higher. When it shows up higher, it sells more. So it's just a continuum, and it feeds off itself. This is why we always talk about Amazon SEO as an ongoing process. You're never done. It's not a set it and forget it. It's something that you have to go back to your pages every month or every 2 months and optimize them a little bit more with some learning that you've had. You change them a bit for the seasons, because what you want is you want to build upon this momentum, because this is the best and most effective way to sell on Amazon. But what you'll notice is ads really don't necessarily play a part. Ads help to drive your sales increase. They help to get more traffic to your pages. But it's up to all these other things that'll help your pages rank and sell better. So before you spend $1 advertising, optimize your product listings. We never focus on spending clients' money before we've optimized their pages, because what we do know is that if we did, we would just be wasting their money, because you're going to pay more per click. You're not going to get as effective ads. So it's better to spend the time optimizing your pages. So these are the steps. These are the places you want to look to optimize SEO. They're the relevance factors that Amazon looks for. Everything begins with knowing your high value keyword. And this is why we refer to this as Amazon SEO, because it's no different than your e-commerce site. It's no different than Facebook. Everything sort of feeds off high value keywords. And knowing those high value keywords is very important, because you're going to weave those high value keywords into all these different areas. You're going to weave your high value keywords into product titles, product images, feature, benefit, bullet points, product description. And on the back end, there are some areas that a lot of people just glance over, and they're very important. So understanding what your search terms are, it's no different than if you were doing SEO on your e-commerce site. So how do you find your high value keywords? That's always a question we get, and I think we got that question last week when we did the presentation. And search is search is search, right? Consumers search pretty much the same way across all platforms. So you can use your AdWords keyword planner if you're doing AdWords. You can use SEMrush. You can use Alexa. You can look at your competitors' listing, because all those keywords searching across all those platforms are relatively the same. The customer is still searching, right? So any tool will give you the basic keywords. But the best way to find high value keywords is through the Amazon search bar. Unfortunately, there are third-party add-ons, plugins that will strip out keywords from competitors' listings. And there's plenty of them out there. You can search in Google. I don't advocate any one of them because they all have their strengths and they all have their weaknesses. So you have to find the one that you think works best for you. I tend to do it, a little bit differently, and I do it a bit of the old-fashioned way. I use Keyword Planner. I use SEMrush, things like that, to get the basic foundation. But here's the trick that I really use a lot, and that's in the Amazon search bar. And unlike Google, when you start typing into Google, Google is essentially going to finish your typing with previous things that you've typed in before. But that's not the case with Amazon. With Amazon, the search bar, once you start typing in, the search bar is going to tell you what the most frequently searched items are as you type. So in this particular case, I started typing in anti-aging, and you can see what comes up: anti-aging skincare kits, anti-aging night cream, anti-aging creams, cream for women. So I know that these are the high value search terms, right? So if you go to the Amazon search bar anytime, and you just start typing in something, right? As you start typing, it changes, right? So you can start with, you type the SH and it's going to show you shower curtains, right? But if you start typing in shaving cream, it's going to give you all these pieces: shaving cream for women, shaving cream for men, shaving cream for slime, sensitive skin, shaving cream brush, etc. So it's a powerful little tool to give you, and it's a powerful way for you to learn your really high value keywords very quickly, right? So, and that's a trick that I don't think a lot of people know. We learned it the hard way, but it's a great little tool. So this brings us to the product title, which is where you're going to start. You want to incorporate your keywords. You want to incorporate a benefit statement. You want to incorporate your brand. You want to think about what customers would search for. Each category has a different character limit. When you're setting your product up, there's a little question mark. If you hover over, it'll tell you what your character limit is for that particular category. Most categories are between 150 and 200 characters. This particular one is beauty, and it's a 200 character limit. But let me explain. Let me show you and break down a little bit what I'm talking about. This is an effective product name: Nupeptin Renewal Retinol Serum. That's the brand and the product name. Retinol serum obviously is a search term. People are going to search for retinol serum. Anti-aging, as we saw before, anti-aging hydrating formula to help reduce the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. Again, a benefit statement. And these benefit statements are important because people search on benefit statements. People are going to search for a serum that reduces fine lines and wrinkles. They'll search for a serum that nourishes the skin. They'll search for anti-aging serum, right? For anti-aging serum for skin types. So this is an effective one. And I want you to pay attention also that I weaved in anti-aging two different ways: once with the hyphen and once without the hyphen. And that's because people search for it two different ways, and it's actually two different keywords. Now let's look at a competitor: Skin Medica Retinol Complex 0.5 1 ounce. Not a very effective title. Skin Medica, far bigger company than Nupeptin, far bigger product. What you'll find is that most big companies, most big brands are not very good at optimizing Amazon, which is why smaller brands are able to penetrate and make such a big business out of it because they're able to feed off of what the big brands have and build their own business. So never be afraid of going up against a major brand with your product if your product competes with one of them, because 9 times out of 10, what I've seen is that you can find how they don't spend enough time optimizing their product. This Skin Medica retinol complex is virtually worthless. The only people that are going to find this product are those searching for Skin Medica, and there are a lot out there. It's like Oil of Olay or L'Oreal. People search for those brands, and that's okay. But all of my point with this is you have an opportunity. Don't ever be afraid of the competition. Because we'll take a look at the top 100 items in beauty, for example. And what you'll see is the top 100 items are not necessarily the major brands. The top 100 items are smaller brands that really spent the time to focus on building and optimizing their pages and having a lot of benefit statements in their product name, in their listing name. So these are important things, and you should always go and look at what the best top 100 sellers or the top 100 items are in every single category. That's how we get our best information. Right? Amazon is not Google. They're not building videos and building documentation to tell you how to do this better. It's sort of people like us who've been doing it for so long that learned the hard way by making mistakes and trial and error that have learned how to do some of these things and learn the importance. The next part that's important, and again, keyword driven, you're focusing on the benefit, is your bullet points. And again, you want to think about what the customer's searching for, because these are all text pieces, right? It's one of the most used parts of a listing. People generally see the product, they look at the images, they look at the bullet points. If they want more, they'll scroll down. But bullet points are very, very important. I believe in almost all cases, you have 1,000 characters to work with in all 5. You can put in 5 bullet points. You pretty much have 1,000 characters to work in. And again, I try and use them all. You should have like 995. What we talk about here is we state in a lot of cases, we state the function, but we focus on the benefit. It's an all-purpose cream. That's a function. Right? That's a feature. The benefit is youthful, radiant finish. Right? So, perfect for all skin types, etc. Smooths fine lines and wrinkles. These are the things that we want to put in our bullet points and then expand on them a little bit. And look at this is a national brand. Their bullet points for a nail polish. It doesn't even make sense. It makes no sense. It's not even finished, but this was out there and you could see it all the time. That's why I say I never ever worry about competing against anybody, because if I can optimize my pages and I can work those pages constantly, I'll generally start to rank higher than what my competitors are. Your product description, which falls down below, again, another place where you can add a lot of keywords. What I do is generally take the bullet points and take the same copy of the bullet points and I put it down in the description, and then I just expand on it even more. And I add a lot more keywords and I add some competitor stuff. Now, it's a great place to add your competitors as keywords. If we were in the shaving business, we would want to say compare to Gillette or compare to Schick. You have to be careful when you talk about the competitor. You can always use compare to your competitor, right? Compare to L'Oreal, compare to Oil of Olay, because that's a legal comparison language. But you can't say I'm better than unless you've done the research to prove that you're better than, because one of them will get you sued, one of them will not. So always try and stick to compare to. That's very good language. Compare to brand X. Stay safe and stay out of trouble. But you have 2,000 characters on your description, and again, you want to build this to be keyword rich. You want to focus on benefits. You want to use this as a way to get more information, more documentation about your brand that are also going to help you in the search world. With images, you can add up to 9. Use them, minimum of 6. Never have less than 6 images. Again, lifestyle images showing the product. They're always great. How customers use the product. And if you can't do that, then you can always build. You can always get a graphic designer to do something like Gillette does, where they take these images and they just put a benefit statement. 1 refill up to 1 month of shaves. They've done it. They've got 4 or 5 or 6 of them. In some cases, you can add video. If you can, add a video. Always make them high quality. Don't use schlocky iPhone photos. Never do that. Always do high quality, good quality images, because you're giving the customer the impression of your brand, and you certainly don't want to give them an iPhone image. You want good quality images. So invest the money, get a photographer to take pictures of your product, and make sure you put them up there with some great benefit statements. When you join the brand registry, you get to build enhanced brand content. And again, this would fall below the fold, but still very relevant. It's a way for you to put your logo, your brand, talk about your brand a little bit more, and expand on the product a bit. They're great. It's great for SEO. It's great for the customer. It's much more visual. They have plenty of templates. You can choose multiple different templates for doing this. So again, another reason why you want to be in the brand registry, and another opportunity to give your customer the ability to convert. And these are the 2 tabs that what I was referring to before, where people almost walk right by. One is keywords and one is more details. On the keyword side, you can see there's intended use, other attributes, subject matter, target audience, and then search terms, which are your keywords. If there's a spot that you can fill in about your product, fill it in. Fill it in, because I'll guarantee you that most of your competitors are not. They look at this as work. And they think, I don't have time for this right now. Let me just get my product up and start selling. But what they don't understand is this. Amazon, again, is a customer-focused platform. What Amazon is trying to do is deliver to the customer the best result for their search. So if the customer starts looking for the smoothest shave, or shaving razors, the best shave, the best razor, the best razor for teen boys, things like that, all those terms are in here for this particular product. And that's how these are all relevant. Amazon doesn't just create places to put information unless they're using it for something. So always fill it in. And your search terms, the weird thing about the search terms is you don't put commas, you don't put any separators. You just sort of build a string of keywords and put them in. It's not done by number of characters here. It's done by the kilobytes and the megabytes. And so you have like 256 kilobytes. So it really is weird how you do it, but you just fill it in until you get an error message, and then you sort of start deleting a couple. But always make sure that you get your big ones in there first. And then on the item setup page, more details. Again, it's another place where you can put more information. Skin type, skin tone, material type, hair type, all kinds of things like that. You could put ingredients on this page. As you're going through your item setup on Amazon, and you come across something that is looking for an answer, put it in. Just if it relates to your product, put it in. Some of these are going to ask about batteries and hazardous materials. That stuff you leave alone. But when it comes to anything that you can fill in that's relevant to your product, fill it in. Okay, we're going to move on to paid ads. But again, I want to make sure I'm clear. Don't ever start paid ads until you've optimized your pages. Don't ever start until you've optimized your pages, because you're just going to waste a lot of money. With sellers, there's 2 types of paid ads. There's headline search, there's sponsored products. Headline search, it shows up at the top of the search engine results page. It's targeted by keywords. It's very top of the funnel, very top of the funnel. And you can drive the click to either the brand page or a product page, custom URL. You can do a lot of things with it, but it's very top of the funnel. This is great for going after your competitors, keywords, things like that. But just understand it's going to convert at a very low rate because it is top of the funnel. Sponsored products, they show up in multiple places: top of the search page, right rail, bottom of the search page. These are keyword driven. However, there's two ways to do this. There's manual keyword driven, or there's automatic. There's a benefit to both. Generally, when we first start anybody's ads, we usually build two ads, the same exact ad. One's manual and one's automatic. Manual is you select the keywords, you build your keyword list, you enter your keyword list, and you start the ad. Automatic is Amazon does the work for you. Now, the reason that we like them is because there's a report after you've run it for a week or two, there's a report called the keyword search report. And the thing that is different is this. When you run the keyword search report for a manual campaign, it's going to tell you how the keywords you entered performed, what the cost of those keywords, how many clicks they got, etc. When you do the automatic campaign, the keyword search report tells you the keywords that the customer used to find your product. It also shows you the products that they were on, because again, your sponsored products show up on other product pages. So you're going to see a lot of ASINs in your automatic keyword report. It's going to tell you what products those customers are on. It's very, very valuable information to refine your product pages, to refine your ads going forward. I don't keep automatic campaigns running for long, generally 2 to 3 weeks, then I turn them off. I may turn them back on once every 3 months or so just to get more information. But that's the beauty of automatic ones, is that information about how the customer got there. So it's a big difference. And then you can take that information, again, you can refine your own keyword part for manual, you can refine your product pages. It's a constant learning process to figure out what the customer is doing to get to your page. The purchase funnel is more middle, so these convert better, and you send them, again, to a specific product page. This is a search ad for men's shaving. This is the headline search ad for it. Shows up on top. I'm sure you've all seen it. Generally has the brand, a couple of images, 2 or 3 of the products. You click on the products and it takes you there. Usually always on the top of the search engine results page. And again, very, very difficult because they're low converting. But if you have extra money to continue to build your brand, then use them. You mostly see a lot of the big brands use them. Again, in my world, it's a lot of Gillette and a lot of Olay and a lot of Procter & Gamble products, but you'll see it in every single category. Sponsored products, you've all seen. They have the little sponsored icon next to them. Again, you always see this sponsored. Sometimes they show up on the top of the page. Sometimes they show up on the right rail. This is Gillette. They try and get as much as they can, as much visibility. Certainly, if you can afford to do this, where you can run headline search ads and you can run sponsored product ads, and they show up like this when a customer searches for, I believe the search term for this was women's razors or women's shaving, then you're going to be able to convert a lot of people with stuff like this. But you always have to pay attention to what's happening with what you're doing, okay? Because this, I apologize that you can't see it, but this search term up here says women's razor. Women's razor. So Gillette is running, and again, this goes back to my thesis before. Just because they're big doesn't mean they're good, right? Many times big brands have a lot of money and they don't pay attention, like scrappy people like us who have to figure out how to get this done with very little budget. These guys are putting men's razor images for women's razor search term, right? That's their headline ad. Then you've got women's razors in the sponsored product side, or the top selling product. Then the Art of Shave, again, also a Gillette product, is selling pre-shave oil, sandalwood, which is a very male fragrance, to trying to sell it to women. I don't know how many women are going to buy this product. So you have to go and make sure that you see how your ads are rendering all the time and how your competitors' ads are rendering, and learn from it. See if you can figure out how to beat them at their own game and spending less money. Because here's why. Here's why we advocate always spending a lot of time on your pages and on your SEO, is because we want to make sure that we are not killing ourselves with sales. Look at the price of a keyword. This goes from 56 cents on up to almost $23 for a click. At $23 for a click, converting at $20, 20% of the time, you'll be spending over $110 for a conversion. Amazon also has promotions. These free shipping when you've got Prime really is meaningless. It's not an effective driver. Social media promo codes, buy one, get one, and percentage off codes. These are almost the same thing. They're just discount codes. You create the discount code and you use them on different platforms. Some of the platforms that will drive sales are your places like JumpSend, HoneySaver, AMZRC, Elite Deals, Slick Deals. You have to find out what works best for your business and for your particular product. So you take the code, you create the code, whatever discount you want, 25, 50, generally 25 to 50% off on some of these work really, really well. And again, what you're trying to do is drive customers off the platform, onto the platform, to your product, and get your product moving in sales. That's going to help your relevancy. The last part is getting legitimate reviews. There's a lot of people out there that do some unethical stuff with reviews, and Amazon has kind of shut those down. Amazon, what you really want to make sure that you're getting verified purchase reviews, because those are the ones that Amazon is allowing to stay. If you don't have verified purchase, you could get 100 people to write a review that's not verified purchase. It will never see the light of day on Amazon anymore. So it's only going to be for people who buy your product that can write reviews, and Amazon is getting more and more diligent about this. You want to keep those reviews flowing. If your product gets lower than a 3.6, it's going to get lower in the search, and it's not going to be invited to a lot of deals. Seller reviews are extremely important as well. So you're really trying to get two different reviews. How's my product doing, and how am I doing as a seller? Both have relevance. The way to get those is really the buying experience, how your pages look, how your product is for the customer. You want to make sure that you're selling them a great product and you're giving them good service. You want to use post-purchase communication. I'll explain that in a second. But there are ways for you to email the customer on Amazon. You can't get the email address, but you can use Amazon's system through the API to email these people to essentially communicate and make sure that they had a good buying experience, they like your product, and head off any negative reviews before they get there. When you send your product in to Amazon, put inserts in it. Again, the goal here is to create brands and create your brand and to acquire customers. So by using those inserts, it's another way for the customer to keep your brand top of mind and maybe look at your website, maybe make a second purchase at your website, things like that. And then there's always the Amazon Early Reviewer Program. When you're in the brand registry, you have access to the Early Reviewer Program, and it costs money. I believe it's $60 for 5 reviews from verified Amazon reviewers who buy the product. There are autoresponder email packages out there, ones that go through the API, and some of them are very good. I don't advocate any one of them. You need to figure out which one works best for you, for the type of seller you are. But they're all link driven, so they populate, they build as they go. So it'll fill in the customer's name, it'll fill in what they bought, it'll put a link directly to the review that you want. And these are extremely good ways of communicating with the customer, getting a review, but also letting the customer know that you're here, so that if they have a problem, they get to you first so you can solve it before it turns into a negative review. See? So that's what you really want to do. Social media and your website, extremely important to reinforce the brand. It improves your ability to convert users, and it provides legitimacy to shoppers who are unfamiliar with you. That's what you want. You want to make sure that everybody knows you're a legitimate company, you're here to stay, you've got a great product, and you stand by it. These last 2 slides are really a bonus to you, because what you find is when your product starts to rank and you're doing really well, Amazon has a lot of SEO juice, right, in Google. So what you find is something like this, where if you searched for Fuji Instamax film, it'll show up with their website, but it also shows up on Amazon with the Amazon rating, organically and paid. So Amazon's actually buying ads on Google. They're buying ads on Google Shopping. They're buying ads and getting involved with SEO. So being on Amazon is not sort of an either or. Well, I either put my effort on Amazon or I put my effort on my e-commerce site. It's all working together now. So what you're trying to do is build your brand and acquire new customers, especially if they've never heard of you before, and use Amazon to help you build your legitimacy. Here's a classic example where Amazon's buying Google Shopping ads. They've got, this is for a particular mixer. Not only does it show up on Amazon on the Google Shopping platform, but it also shows up as SEO. So it's great, you know, to really use Amazon, to understand Amazon, and use Amazon to help your business. So just to wrap it up, you want to measure the important and actionable items that'll drive your business forward. You want to control your brand. You want to learn constantly from your customers, from the feedback from all these reports, and you want to continuously evolve your product pages, your business, to keep it moving. Again, Amazon SEO optimization, it's something that happens constantly. We don't just do it once and set it and forget it. So I think we're done, and we're going to start talking about questions now.
Yes.
So,
awesome. Thank you, Phil. We're going to go ahead and take some time for questions. We have about 10-15 minutes here. Just as a reminder, please be sure to type your questions into the question box, which is in the GoToWebinar control panel on the side of your screen. So we do have a question here. Can you recommend an autoresponder program?
you know, there's a couple of them out there. You should look at the one that works best for you. There's a company called Feedback 5 that has a good one. There's a company called Excelco that has a good one. There's another one from Seller Labs, which, you know, is okay. I mean, you have to figure out which one works best for your business. Are you selling a lot every day? Are you just selling a little bit? You know, so you have to look at them. If you go and Google it, you'll find a bunch of them. So, but yeah, without knowing what kind of business you're in and all that, I really can't. Plus, I don't like to recommend them, because if people don't have a good experience, then they think that I told them to do it. You know, all of them are different. It depends on your business.
I'm going to let the person who asked that question, if they wanted to follow up with what kind of thing they're selling in their business, maybe we can dive into that. If there are any other questions, again, please feel free to use the question box on the side of the control panel. Looks like we just had another question come through. Can you explain more on discount sites, and what should they look for to choose one of them?
Well, you have to look at what, you have to look at what type of products are on those sites, or what kind of products are out there, or are heavy sellers. Some of these are more fashion focused, some of them are more beauty focused, some are more electronic focused. So depending on what your product is, there's a bunch of them out there, tons actually. And you also want to see if it's let me see how to put this correctly. You're deeply discounting your product, usually 25 to 50%. So you want to be careful that you're not creating resellers. The purpose of doing this, the purpose of using discounts off-site, is twofold. First is to build traffic to your page, sell more product, which is going to help you build more momentum of your product. That's first and foremost. Secondly is to get reviews, because you want some of these people on these sites who are buying your product to go and review it. But at the same time, the guys that are resellers out there, they play a game of online arbitrage. They're always looking for products, and they say, oh, 25% discount. I can buy the product, and they'll do their little calculation very quickly and see if it's worth it for them to buy the product at 25% off, then start reselling it at the same price that you're selling it at, and see if they can make a little money. So you want to be careful about the quality of the buyers on the sites and what their intention is. So if so you have to do a little bit of research into each site, what you are, what you're selling, and how you want to approach it. If you're fashion focused, high fashion, if you're whatever, beauty focused, you want to find the right sites for you, and you also don't want to feed your competitors. So, because what you'll find is a lot of times when you do this 25% off, you might find your product on eBay very rapidly. And so you want to, if you do it right, you want to be able to control those things, and always use. There's two different kinds of codes, discount codes that you build on Amazon: single-use codes and group codes. Single-use codes, the code can only be used once. You put a limit on it. Customer can only buy it once. Boom, done. You sell one to one person for 25% off. When you do group codes, they're open. If somebody had a group code, they could use it over and over and over again. And generally, resellers look for those group codes. So always try and use single-use codes.
Perfect. And we do have a little bit of follow-up just from the autoresponder program question. The alum is in a private label fashion goods.
Oh, lovely.
And in a gated category, the product assortment is around 3,000.
Wow.
And quantity varies from 1 to 200 for each, with sales of about 3 to 10 a day. So not sure if that gives any more detail into if there's a direction that they should go in.
Yeah, I would look for one of the higher autoresponder products that are built for more higher higher selling companies. Like, again, I just switched to one of our clients over to Feedback 5. I found it to be very good, very flexible, very image driven. We're very happy with it so far. You might find that works for you. They're in Virginia, in the U.S., so it's a local company. They have a couple of different products. Give them a call and see if I think they have a free test period. Excelco is one. Also, that if you're looking for something that integrates with your e-commerce, Excelco does some things with integration to your e-commerce as well as your Amazon. Try and keep things consistent. I would check out those two, see which one works best for you. They both have very active salespeople, so they'll call you. They'll give you a, they'll give you a like a join me, and you can review the product with them. They have great service, both of them. So give that a shot.
Great. So it looks like we've covered all of the questions today. Phil, is there anything else you wanted to cover before we wrap up?
No, I think that's good. I hope everybody got something out of it that they can take away and drive more sales with. And again, if you have any questions, you can feel free to email me directly. I think you're going to send out my email address or something like that, and feel free to reach out.
I will, yes. So a follow-up email will be coming later this evening or early tomorrow, and Phil's email address and website will be in that follow-up email as well. So thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Have a wonderful day, and go Terps.
Thank you. Go Terps.